Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Got another project done. It's in the books. I know I've been talking about this one off and on for a while about how I want to get going on it and get a reveal for you. So here it is, Cale Yarborough number 27 Valvoline Buick. This is the kit itself is an old monogram kit. I think it was got it from Mike's from his donor kit list. And they're just blanks. There's no decals that come with them, so they're just the kit itself. It includes all the tires, the glass, everything you need to build the car. Then you just add your own decals. I'll just reiterate really fast from a previous video that I did. I originally wanted to build the Ron Bouchard number 47 Buick. I just always liked the paint scheme, and I just liked the car, and I found one, and the decals were roached in it. So what I did with that one, I ended up using that body for my Mountain Dew Buick that I did, and actually just ordered a set of the Mountain Dew decals. So I found another Ron Bouchard kit, and the decals were the very same way. They had got damp, ruined, so the kit was fine. So what I did, I knew I had this kit in my stash, and with that recent Ron Bouchard car that I had bought, I got on Mike's, look around and said, well, maybe they make some Ron Bouchard decals, powerslide or whatever. So I got to looking through there. They didn't make the number 47, but I did come across the 27. So, and Cale Yarborough, I always like Cale anyway, so that was just a perfect fit for me. It's the same paint scheme basically. There's some slight differences on the stripes on the side, but it's virtually the same scheme there. But so after I bought that and basically started on this, I got to looking around, and I seen that Salvino's JR actually now is producing this car in this configuration with those decals. So if I would have waited just a little bit longer, I could have just bought the car and had the decals in the car all together. But it is what it is. I think I got the Bouchard car pretty cheap, and this from Mike's, these cars aren't that expensive. They're about 21 bucks, just depending on what you're getting. So this is the blank or the donor kit from Mike's. But anyway, enough talking about all that. Let's look at the car. So I'm going to shut this guy off here. I'm just going to bring him in closer to you. Now this car, another reason this took me a little extra long on this is because I had thought about this on the previous cars, the Mountain Dew that I did, and I did the Bobby Allison Buick, and then I've actually done a number 11 Darrell Waltrip Budweiser car. And all these old monogram kits were molded with door lines right here. I don't know why they molded them with the door lines, because the real NASCARs did not have the door lines on them. So I got to thinking, I seen a couple guys do it where they eliminated those. I'm like, oh man, might be a little bit more extra work than I want to put into it, but well, let's go for it. See how I can get it to look. And guys, for the first time doing it, I'm pretty impressed with the way it came out. The door line would have been right in this area right here. And I think it cleaned it up pretty well, and made it look a lot more realistic. And look at those decals. Aren't those beautiful decals? Another great example of power slide. And with the right setting solution, guys, look, these will lay down like they're painted on. So I'm really impressed. I'm a big fan of the power slide decals. I'm going to say they're kind of a thick decal, but they're not so thick that they don't hit the contours, especially once you put the right setting solution with them. And I used the Mark Fit back there that I got on the bench back there. Really good stuff. I really like the way that works. And now on this one, I left the windows out here on purpose, because this era right in here, they didn't have windows in the side anyway, because that's how they went in and made their chassis adjustments on the back. They had that little ratchet unit down there on above the springs there, so they could put some wedge in or take some wedge out where the car was tight or loose. They could adjust it, and they went right through that window. Now then, later on, I think when the Buicks downsized and the Chevrolets went to the Aero Coupe, I think then they started having to put, I think they kind of mandated the side windows back in, because then on those Aero coupes, I know for sure they had the ratchet post right here that came all the way up to the window. Then they just stick the ratchet up here, and then they could do all their adjustments from outside the car. So that's why I don't have any side windows in here. I did it on purpose. So, but I'm pleased with the way it came out. It's got a couple little quirks to it that, you know, I wasn't satisfied with the way it worked. Like, for example, the hood pins. Now from here, they look pretty good on the camera, but they don't set down in on this one like they're supposed to. And I think I remember on one of the other ones that I did some test fitting before. Should have done on this one, but I didn't. I think I actually had to open those up just a little bit, because when you get the paint, and I put several coats of paint in case I have to go back, get a scratch or something, I can go polish it out and not burn through the paint. So if you open them holes up just a little bit beforehand, it helps your pins go down, go sit down in there just a little bit better than that. So that's one quirk, but you know, I mean, just sitting there looking at it, I guess unless you're up on it with a magnifying glass or something, you really can't. It doesn't stand out, you know, too terribly bad. And for the inside, if you can see it right there, it's not going to focus for me probably. But anyway, I did find a Valvoline decal to put on the dash. It's not going to show up. I apologize for that, but there's a Valvoline decal on the dash. And then, of course, there's those decals I did. And it's probably not going to show those that well either. Right there, the decals on the dash that I did for the gauges. So those come out really nice. I like the way those ended up looking. And I'll pop the hood off here for you. Got our engine. And again, like I said in another video, that I did go with the red engine on that. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Don't really know what color they were on the NASCAR, but I like the way that looked. I did wire it up. So I got my wires going down through here. And on this alternator bracket, right here, see that aluminum color post there? I took a piece of thin styrene rod and put on there, because that bracket, otherwise, it just kind of hanging in limbo. And that bracket there just looks, or the post makes it a little more realism to it. So I went with that. And then look at the underneath side here. So we got your yellow shocks in the back there, yellow shocks up front. Now with this, I would just weathered up. Now this, you could probably change if you want to do some extra work, because not all of these NASCAR were like this. I guess this was an experimental setup for like maybe one season, like maybe on R&D car or something. And they weren't all like that, but some reason Monogram just started popping all their exhaust like this for the GM. Now the Ford were actually just they didn't have any of this crossover. They just came out, you know, and looked like a natural header. But anyway, we got this. And I put just a little bit of this has a little bit of the Tamiya weathering, the Weathering Master kit, to weather that up a little bit. And then I put just a little bit around the edge of the exhaust pipe here where it outlets. And again, just toned down the oil pan a little bit. I sprayed a dull coat on that. And that's the other thing with that kit that this came from. The chrome was really bright, flashy chrome, and the NASCARs wouldn't have been like that. So I put, this was from one of them Ron Bouchard cars, and so I ended up using that on there. It gives it more of an alloy look to it instead of a bright, flashy chrome. And then the back bumper, you're basically the same way. So, and then the window net. Now this is something I would like to change in the future, not on this car, but on my future builds of these. These actually, a lot of these, especially this era, would have cut off about right here. So it'd been more like a square. And actually, I'd like to sand these flat, or try to sand these flat, because they almost look like a tube, almost like a bar. I think you should sand them flat. Would look a lot more realistic in that realm. But so that's for, you know, future time. I'm going to probably try that on one, see what that look like. I have actually just one of those side cages that I can actually practice on and just test it and see how it would come out. So, and as far as the paint on the side here, I just went down. I went down my print shop, took the decal sheet with me, and had him print me out a couple of the sheets on some paper. And then what I did, I watched an HPI guy when he did the Petty Oldsmobile with the '79 Daytona Winter version, and he showed on there how he took the decals and made copies and just cut them out, laid them out, and then transferred it to tape, mastered it off that way. So what I did with these, I don't have the ones out. I think I went ahead and threw them away already, but I just cut around these lines as close as I could, you know, as it was going to be on here. And then I just held them up to the car and then made marks, you know, on there. And then it's like I put a line here and a line here, and then I just run my tape to where those matched up. And it believe it or not, it ended up working out pretty good. So that's the result I got on that. Pretty pleased with it. Now, those ones that Salvino's are doing, they are the old monogram molds, but they have made their new tires. I guess the only thing they didn't acquire was the tires and the glass. So they've made their glass, and I guess they've really improved it. So I have not built one of the Salvino's kits of these. I'd kind of like to get my hands on one and try it and see how much better those fit. But these are the old, everything's all monogram on this, tires and everything. And then the tires I did like I did on that tutorial on one of my earlier videos. That's got the dull coat on the side, so it takes away, you don't see that carrier film on there. The problem with putting a decal on a matte or a dull, you know, flat finish is you see the carrier film that the decals are printed on. So by putting that dull coat on, it takes all that away. So, but yeah, he's got the fire bottle inside. And again, I apologize if you can't see that too well because of the light. But I had some other decals that have fire bottle instructions on them, and I just put one on there. And then I realized after the fact that on this sheet, they've actually got a fire bottle decal right there. So I'll have a spare one then for some other time from the leftover decals that I got. Now this car I made to represent the 1982 version of this car. They had decals to where you could do the 81 version or an 82 version. Now, I don't know if these are race specific, like if they was both targeting the 81, 82 Daytona 500, but if they did, if that's the case, actually, Cale raced an Oldsmobile in 1981 in the Daytona 500. So it would not have been the Buick, but they give you markings for the 1981 season. And again, I don't know that much about the rest of the races. If he had actually ended up going to Buick later than in 81, I can assume so. But anyway, I just opted for the 82 version, you know, just because they had an option for like a red Valvoline on the hood. But I went with the 82 was the black one. So, you know, that's what I went with. So, but anyway, turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty pleased with the way it came out. And but that's it. Another project in the books. And I say I can get to working more on the 55 Chevy, and I got a couple other projects. What I'm wanting to do here pretty soon is I want to paint up about 4 or 5 bodies at least, and like interiors and stuff for some cars, because when the wintertime rolls around, my shop out here is not heated. So I'm going to have to, if I want to build anything, I'm going to have to do it in the house, and can't paint anything in there, and you can't really paint when it's super cold. So I want to get some bodies painted up, so then this winter I can just keep right on with the videos and do some builds through the winter and everything, and have all that done ahead of time. So, but guys, I'm trying to think if there's anything else right now that I needed to say. I don't think there's anything I wanted to add. Like I said, I eliminated the door lines. Very impressed with the way that looks. Got our tires all decaled up there with the Goodyear Eagle. All these nice Valvoline decals. And something else I want to remember real quick. Cale Yarborough, I guess, I guess his daughter has made the statement that he is actually dealing with a genetic, I think he said it was a genetic disorder, and unfortunately it sounds like there's no cure for it. So just remember Cale Yarborough and his family. What a great race car driver. One of the guys responsible for quote unquote putting NASCAR on the map. With that famous fight at the end of the 79 Daytona 500, which actually happened to be the first flag-to-flag covered NASCAR race on national television. Appeared on CBS there. Ken Squire, David Hobbs, and all. I'm calling the shots. But yeah. So Cale's been known as probably, if not the toughest, one of the toughest guys to ever drive a NASCAR as far as his physical stature goes. Just a really strong guy. Every interview I've seen him in seems like a very personable man, and seems to be a good guy all around. And he was in 2 episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard, actually. The first one, he was testing a new Charger out at a track, and then the next one, he was supposed to be he came to see a sick boy, and then the footage in the end of the show was actually the footage of him winning the Daytona 500, I believe in '83. It was '83 or '84, whatever one was the first one where they first time the in-car camera went into victory lane. So that was kind of historic in the making, and they just used that footage in the show. But anyway, that's a scoop. So remember Cale. Pray for his family, lift him up. And also, guys, I want to say something else. Remember Sean from Scale Model Car Guy channel. I don't know the whole situation. The Lord knows what it's all about. His wife, I guess, is having some health issues. So we just want to lift her up in our prayers. And Sean. And we miss his videos, but we know right now he's taking care of the most important thing that there is. So, guys, just remember that too as well. So, hey, guys. That's all I got today. I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to move on out. It's time to start stacking some wood, so we can't have fun all the time, I guess. So, hey, this is Eric from Eric's Model Garage. Please like, share, subscribe if you like the videos. I sure like bringing them to you guys. If you like them, give me a like and all that stuff. So, that's all I got for today. You guys have a great day. God bless you. Happy modeling.